I'm just an average college kid studying at this old East Coast college. It's beautiful with all these historic brick buildings and everything, but something's off. Creepy-like. This weird thing started happening a few weeks ago. I found notes in my mailbox, no name or anything. The first one said, "I think you're really pretty." I laughed and thought, what the hell? I figured my friends were messing around, but they all swore they didn't do it. But then the notes turned weird. I found one that read, "I love your red hoodie. It matches your running shoes. Who knew what I wore daily? It wasn't just a prank now. It was downright freaky." And then came the gifts. One day a little package appeared. Inside was a bracelet identical to the one I lost as a kid. How could they know about it? But the creepiest one was an old-fashioned locket. When I popped it open, there was a photo of my mom. My heart dropped. She passed when I was a kid. Scared out of my mind, I ran to campus security. "Somebody's stalking me," I said, but they brushed me off, told me to keep an eye out. Then the threats started, notes saying, "Don't ignore me, and I can reach you anytime." I was so scared I couldn't sleep. And then another message, "Meet me at the old library tonight or you'll regret it." I was scared, but I wanted it to end, so I decided to face it. That night, the old library was shrouded in an eerie silence. I was standing there, my heart pounding like a bass drum in my chest. Then he appeared. My English professor, Mr. Patterson, stepped out from the shadows. I felt the air getting sucked out of me like I'd been punched in the gut. "Why did you reject me?" His voice, laced with rage, echoed in the deserted library. "I love you, can't you see that?" He lunged towards me, his hand closing around my arm in a vice-like grip. I screamed out, the echo ringing in the silent library. I fumbled for my phone and managed to blur it out. "I'm recording this. If you don't leave me alone, I'm going to the police." He growled, yanking the phone from my hand and throwing it to the ground. I could hear the plastic crack on impact, but I wasn't giving up. With all my strength, I kneed him and managed to break free. I picked up my phone, thankful that it was still recording, and ran for my life. When I was safe, I handed the recording over to the authorities. They arrested him. He was charged with stalking, harassment, and now assault. The fallout was massive. My college expelled him, and I got a restraining order. Since then, things haven't been the same. The campus that once felt so inviting now feels like a minefield. Every corner holds the ghost of a memory. The library, once a place of solace, now a haunting reminder. Yet I refuse to let him ruin my life completely. "So are you okay?" my friend Sarah asked me one day. "You seem distant." "I don't know, Sarah," I admitted. "I'm trying to be, but it's like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop." "You're stronger than this," she said, placing her hand on mine. "He can't hurt you anymore." I know she meant well, but words were just that, words. The echo of fear still lingered, a silent stalker in the back of my mind. But I was determined. I wouldn't let fear control me. I started taking self-defense classes, making sure I was never vulnerable again. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Life gradually regained some normalcy. My grades started to improve, and I slowly began reconnecting with my friends. But there was always this fear lurking in the background, yet I carried on, refusing to let fear rule me. "Hey, I heard Mr. Patterson pleaded guilty," Sarah informed me one day. "What?" I was shocked. "Are you serious?" "Yeah, they're going to sentence him next week." Suddenly, I felt like I could breathe again. It was finally over. It was still a long road to recovery, but I was on my way. I knew I had to remain vigilant, protect myself, but for the first time in a long time, I felt a flicker of hope. Life started to feel, well, more like life again. I even started to sleep soundly without the fear of nightmares. "We can finally move on," Sarah told me one day, a wide smile on her face. "Yeah," I echoed, the joy apparent in my voice. "We can," and we did. For a while, things were good. I started making plans, thinking about my future without a shadow looming over me. Then one day, as I opened my mailbox, my heart dropped. There, amongst letters and junk mail, was a chillingly familiar piece of paper. An anonymous note, just like the ones I had received months before. It read, "The game isn't over yet." My blood turned ice cold, a dreadful fear crawling up my spine. Was this a sick joke? Or was there someone else out there watching me? As I stood there, gripping the note, I realized my story wasn't over. The nightmare was back, but this time I was ready to fight. I would not be a victim again. I was a survivor, and this was only the beginning of my battle